Everyone said she would never trust a human hand again, not after everything she'd been through, the neglect, the hunger, the nights alone with no one to trust. They were wrong. Because from the very first night, this rescued tabby did something nobody expected. She pressed her face into theirs, every single time, and nobody could explain why. But to understand it, we have to go back to the beginning. Hazel wasn't found in a warm home or a loving backyard. She was found behind a gas station, thin, flinching at every sound, hiding beneath a stack of wooden pallets. The woman who found her, Claire, almost didn't stop. It was raining, she was late for work, and there had been other strays on that same street for months. People in the neighborhood had learned to walk past them. But something about the way Hazel looked at her, still, unmoving, eyes wide and searching, made Claire pull over. She crouched down, slowly, rain soaking through her jacket, keeping her voice low and steady. Hazel didn't run. She didn't hiss either. She just watched, like she was deciding something far bigger than whether to trust a stranger with an umbrella. It took almost 40 minutes before Hazel finally stepped out from beneath the pallets. When she finally came close enough to sniff Claire's fingers, Claire felt something shift in her chest. Quiet and certain, like a decision had already been made for her. At the shelter, the staff warned Claire not to expect much. Cats found in those conditions, they said, often stayed distant for months. Some never fully trusted again. Trauma leaves a mark, one vet tech told her gently, and sometimes that mark never fades. She'd seen it before, cats who flinched at every raised hand for the rest of their lives, no matter how much love came after. The intake notes were sparse. No microchip, no collar, no record of anyone ever looking for her. Claire adopted her anyway. She named her Hazel for the color that flickered gold and green in her eyes whenever the light hit them just right. The first week was exactly what they predicted. Hazel stayed under the bed. She ate only when the room was empty and only after Claire had closed the door behind her. She flinched at footsteps, at doors closing, at anything sudden. Claire gave her space, sat quietly some evenings, spoke softly, and waited. She didn't push, she just stayed present, night after night, letting Hazel set the pace entirely on her own terms. But what happened on the 8th night would change everything. Claire had fallen asleep on the couch, exhausted from work, one arm hanging off the edge. She woke to something warm pressed against her cheek. It was Hazel. Her small face was tucked right against Claire's, perfectly still, breathing slow. Claire didn't move. She barely breathed. For nearly 20 minutes, they stayed like that, forehead to forehead, until Hazel finally pulled back and curled up nearby instead, tucked into the crook of her arm like she'd done it 100 times before. Little did Claire know, that moment was only the beginning. Because after that night, Hazel started doing it constantly, not occasionally, not when she felt like it. Every single time Claire picked her up. Every single time she sat down beside her, Hazel leaned in and pressed her face against Claire's. It happened in the kitchen while Claire made coffee, in the hallway when she came home from errands, even in the middle of the night if Claire so much as shifted position in bed. Cheek to cheek, forehead to forehead. Sometimes for a few seconds, sometimes for whole minutes. Friends who visited noticed it immediately and asked if it was normal. One friend even pulled out her phone to film it, certain nobody would believe her otherwise. Claire didn't have an answer. She'd never seen a cat do this so consistently, so deliberately, like it was a ritual instead of an accident. She started researching late at night the way people do when something feels too specific to be random, scrolling through article after article until her eyes ached. Feline behaviorists explain that headbutting, called bunting, is common enough. Most cats do it briefly, a quick nudge against an ankle or a hand, marking territory with scent glands along the face before moving on to something else entirely. But this was different. This wasn't a quick bump and walk away. This was prolonged, intentional, almost desperate contact, held far longer than ordinary bunting, the kind some behaviorists associate with cats who spent long stretches without safety, without anyone to press against in the dark. Claire read through forum posts from other owners describing similar behavior in cats rescued from long-term neglect. The pattern kept repeating. One specialist wrote something that stopped Claire cold. Cats who were once alone for extended periods sometimes seek constant physical reassurance once they finally feel safe, as if checking again and again that the safety is real. And then, one quiet Sunday afternoon, everything clicked into place. Claire was reading on the couch when Hazel climbed onto her chest, settled her front paws on either side of Claire's neck, and pressed her forehead directly against hers for nearly a full minute. The book slipped from Claire's hands and landed softly on the cushion beside her, forgotten completely. She could feel Hazel's heartbeat, fast and small, steady against her own chest. Claire finally understood. This wasn't a quirky habit. This wasn't random affection. This was Hazel's way of asking a question, over and over, the only way she knew how. Are you still here? Is this still real? Am I still safe? And every time Claire let her stay, every time she didn't pull away, she was answering yes. Every single time, without hesitation, without ever making Hazel wait too long for the answer. What Hazel found behind that gas station wasn't just food or shelter, it was proof, delivered one gentle touch at a time, that this new life wasn't going to disappear the way the old one had. She still does it today, months later. Every morning before Claire leaves for work, every evening the moment she walks back through the door, sometimes before Claire has even set down her bag. Forehead to forehead, still and quiet, for exactly as long as Hazel needs. Claire stopped timing it a long time ago. She used to glance at the clock out of habit, curious how long it would last. Now she just stays still and lets it happen, because she finally understands what it means, and counting never mattered anyway, not when the moment itself was the whole point. Guests who visit still ask about it every single time, and Claire always gives the same quiet answer. She's just checking. It's not a habit, it's not confusion, it's a small cat once completely alone, still asking the same gentle question every single day, and a woman who never stops answering. Some animals show love loudly, with noise and motion and demands. Hazel shows it in silence, one still moment at a time, forehead pressed to the only person who ever stopped for her in the rain. There's no dramatic rescue footage of that afternoon behind the gas station, no viral clip of the moment everything changed, just a woman who waited in the rain and a small cat who slowly decided that waiting meant something. Maybe trust doesn't come back all at once. Maybe it comes back the way Hazel's did, one quiet touch, repeated until it finally feels safe to believe, again and again, for as long as it takes. Do you think animals remember the exact moment someone chose them, or is that just something we want to believe? Tell me in the comments.